Well, hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to today's episode number 121, the date of the 24th February 2025. And what did you think to our new intro? How cool was that? That was unexpected for both of us. We both logged in this morning and went, what's going on here? This is new. This is different. This is not what we were expecting. Obviously, I'm here with my co-host, Johann. Johann, how has your week been? And that does not look like your normal studio. What's going on?
Good morning. Big busy week, good week. This is not my normal studio. I am in Edinburgh Waverley's first class lounge, waiting my train. So I'm only here for 45 minutes. Then I need to shoot off and go and get my train before I head down to Liverpool for Engage and Labs 2025, of course.
Awesome. And normally you'd be a lot more energetic, but the fact you're in a waiting room, I can we appreciate why there's some calmer tones come in, right? Calmer elements to it. You know, this being the day before Engage Labs. In reality, I know that you're absolutely buzzing for it, and you cannot wait to get everyone to be there, right? Like it's such an exciting time to be in, isn't it?
We've got speakers people have never seen before. We've got topics that you wouldn't expect from a practice management event. Like, a few people have said, "Oh, there's not very many Engager sessions." It's like, well, practice management is about so much more than just your practice management tool. It's about your marketing, your organization, your ethos, your culture, your leadership. It's so many different topics, and ultimately, we're a small part of that at Engager. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we can deliver a day that improves your practice as a whole. Like, we already deliver free content, webinars, etc., all year round around improving practice management through your practice management tool. So this is, come and say hello to us and see us and learn what we're about to do. And we've got huge announcements tomorrow evening at the end of the show. But the real push here is the whole bigger picture of how to run a practice in 2025.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I didn't get that memo because my whole speech is on Engager. So, but you needed someone to talk about Engager.
You're the part that is talking about Engager and how important that part is.
Yeah, everyone can get a cup of tea at that point and go get refreshments and stuff. It's fine. Come back for the real good stuff that you've got going. It's awesome, cool. So obviously we wouldn't be anywhere without our amazing community. So hello and good morning to everybody. What's Cheryl there? Good morning, Cheryl. Natasha, good morning, Natasha. Good morning to Paul. Good morning to Clive. Oh, and thank you for my birthday. Yeah, thank you. I had a great birthday yesterday. It was very, very exciting. And more importantly, I got a Stanley Cup that I can now hopefully get some stickers for. So we'll see if there's any good stickers out there on our approach to Engager Labs. Kirsty says good morning, love the new intro. Want the new intro good, eh? Hey, hasn't producer Lizzie done absolutely
Lizzie's done really well there.
Looking good.
I feel she's done exceptionally well considering we curtailed her creativity a bit, didn't we? Because we wouldn't let her replace the intro music. That's on Monday morning.
Yeah. That gets us awake. Yeah, you should see the pre-ramble. We all sat there going, as soon as that's on. Absolutely. Yeah. Dave said, Dave, there's still time for you to get on that plane. Look, I promise you, I made it to. I went to see Ed Sheeran. You've still got a chance to get on that plane. Come back. come to Engage. It's still there. And yeah, appreciate the happy birthday from there. Brilliant. All right. Well, we've got an exciting plan. We're going to leave the Engager chat till later on in the day for various reasons, and also so we can actually talk about it properly, because Johann's going to be gone at that point, so I can give you an honest opinion of how I'm feeling about it. And he can't stop me from talking at that point about what I can say at that point, so stay tuned to that. But I will need your help with Johann not being there, so get your questions ready and start putting some questions in the chat, and we can cover those. Let's do a Q&A for Engager itself. What we're looking forward to, all that sort of stuff. Get your questions in. And for that last 15 minutes, we can do a bit of Q&A with the team. Johann, we're going to talk, though, about other stuff first, including Ignition's gone and added some extra features. Some features that actually Get us a little bit excited. Their post was new in Ignition is auto pricing. Haven't raised your fees in a while? With auto pricing, you can adjust fees across multiple client engagements in a few clicks, ensuring you're never undercharging and always staying ahead of rising costs. They've got a tick mark saying update fees for multiple clients at once, use pre-made email templates for seamless private pricing conversations, save hours of admin and price your services at their true value. Now, for me, the reason this piqued my interest is because I'm going through repricing hell at the moment in my practice. Nothing to do with the tools I've got or anything like that. Like, we've got the best tools on the market, but just the process of having to go through getting those pricing right, going through reviewing them, all that sort of stuff. I think a bit of genius there by whoever put out the original post, because it piqued my interest because I was going through that pain point. I was going through the frustration. And, you know, as you do when you're going through something that's tedious, you kind of start scrolling through socials at some point and then boom, like something literally there go through. And I think Ignition have got the advantage of they're not just doing the engagement letters, but also they're doing the collection of fees right. So they've got that beautiful blend there where they can kind of bring this auto pricing into play. For me, auto pricing is it's better than it's ever been, but it's still a manual job at this point in time. So there is still kind of pain to go through and everything else. I am actually actively looking for some VPAs, some virtual PA out there that could actually take this as a project and then just run with it, right? And then we just say, look, here it is. They go off, they do the things for us, and then report back, sort of thing. And that's kind of the approach we're taking to doing price increase and stuff. But what did you think to the post, the idea, to the concept? Is it something you've ever considered, wanted? Are you going through the same pain and stuff? Talk me through it.
Yeah, so it's something that's on our ideas list for Engager, is to look at auto increasing and increasing by all prices by, say, X amount of inflation, whatever it is. We already have a process in our firm where we do a fee review every year, and there's a task that comes up in Engager that says fee review for this person. It's in line with their financial year end. We crunch the numbers, we put the data through Zen on to get the insights that we're looking for. We look at the fee increase that it's come up with, and we then have that meeting with the client and a discussion. So whilst it's great that Ignition can potentially save some time in that generating of that fee, and in theory, that will then update their invoice, which is a bit of payments, which is great. It doesn't necessarily solve the big problem. And that is the conversation between ourselves and our clients to explain the fee increase, to justify the cost increase. If it's more than just inflation, then we have to explain, well, your transaction volumes, like, I can't remember the last time we looked at a fee increase and it was just inflation.
Really?
There's always a change. Yeah, there's always a changing factor of that software that they've been using has now got really expensive above the rate of inflation. We need to have a discussion. Turnover's changed, employment numbers changed, transactions have changed. So many things vary that it's very rare we just have an inflation increase and that's it. So it's great from that we could, Ignition can do that, but actually the biggest time drain for us is having to have that conversation with the client, having to justify their price increases, having to explain the implications of, look, we priced you on £250,000 turnover, you're now at £500,000 turnover. It's amazing, it's great, but it's more work. So yeah, it's a typical kind of software approach of we've solved the problem. Actually, we've misunderstood the problem. What we've solved for you is a few minutes of the problem, whereas actually there's a huge chunk still to be looked at as to how we position it, how we communicate it, etc. Because if you've got to put your client's fees up by £150 a month, you're not just going to go and tell Ignition to send that off to them and not contact them about it, are you?
No, but I think because we have those annual fee reviews, that's fine. Because and it's not even annual; it's quarterly, where you've gone up from one, you've gone from one tier to the other and everything else. And they're easy conversations to have with our clients because we were up front with them, right? They already knew that if they hit this, you expected to have this, and they've almost budgeted for that. So that conversation is just for them. It's like, we knew you were going to have the conversation. Sometimes it's like, to be fair, we thought you were going to talk to us sooner about this. So pretty appreciate we've had kind of 2 months of almost got away scot-free sort of thing, right? Like, or whatever the conversation is going to be. So those conversations to me, they're bread and butter. They're fine. I think this conversation is more about just having to do that blanket increase, right? So for me, if it's the software's having to do a price increase, actually that's pretty straightforward for our approach, right? We send out a message to everyone affected by it, telling them that, you know, the software's said that they're going to go from A to B and blah blah blah, and these are the price increase, blah 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 blah. We go into the back end of our system, we say new price is going to be this, new price is going to be this, new price this, update all going forward, done, right? And we give the choice to our clients to go, right, if this is too much for you, book in a meeting with us, let's have a chat, talk. We can either downgrade you or swap you over, whatever's going to work for you, right? But we say, look, it's out of our hands, this price increase. You know, you either accept it or you don't, but going forward, this is the price it's going to be. And we're pretty lucky with that. The way we've set up our billing structure, the way we've got everything else, those price increases take 10 minutes, 5 minutes to put the communication out, 5 minutes to actually update it, done, right? Move on. Maybe a bit longer, but you know what I mean, like it's minimal time. These though, what I see now are more those price increases where it's like, you know, you've been charging X per month for your standard, I don't know, ITR fees or for your registered office fees or whatever. They've got to go up with inflation, so you got to go through, or you're just going to put a inflationary price increase to all your fees or whatever it's going to be. They're the bits that in my
and that bit, they've nailed that bit. But the way that these solutions are advertised is that the be all and end all. Actually, it's a part of the problem. It's not the golden bullet, the silver bullet that's going to solve the major issue at all. But yeah, I think Socket do it as well. They've got this price increasing option. Yeah, so Socket have got it. Ignition obviously got it now. Ignition is going to be a lot more powerful because once the client sign, that increases the invoices, it increases the payments. Lovely and slick. But yeah, and it's something we've spoken about a lot of times. Like obviously we've got Advin, we're integrating with an Engager to try and help make the payment smoother. And one of the conversations we've been having with them is how can we do auto increases and stuff in the future. No ETAs, no firm plan, not even designed that yet. But it's there. It's in the pot of ideas.
Yeah, because at the moment, for us, for a workflow, it's communicate with the client, then the pain point starts, because then we've got to go find the engagement letter, put it through the engagement letter, go through there, put the new fees on, send that out to them. And then when they finally sign it, then we've got to go and update a recurring template. And it's admin work, right? It's just admin work that you've just got to absorb as a practice. You've got to find ways to bring that in because it's important for your growth. And, you know, there's lots of positivity around doing it. And clients normally don't get too upset about an inflationary increase. The worst case scenario that we have is they'll come back to us and go, look, it's a bit more pricey than is there anything we can talk about here? You know, can we maybe take off one of the services or whatever it's going to be, right? That's normally the conversation we have, other than I'm off now, you're way too expensive. They kind of expect it to be, you know, as long as you're reasonable with your increases, right? They normally expect that's going to happen. Every other thing they do is going to be done, right?
Yeah, and you set those expectations in your letter of engagement and terms and conditions. Like we've got it, like it's in your mobile phone contracts. I went out and got a new SIM card the other day for a dongle, and they were like, "Look, you're signing up today, which is February. On the 1st of April, your contract's going to go up by £1.50 because EE don't do a percentage increase. They just say it's £1.50 a year, £1.50 a month each year. We increase it by." Whereas others go, "Oh, it's whatever the inflation rate is. If that's less than 2%, then we'll do it by 2%. So as long as you've got that in your terms and conditions as your letter of engagement, then it's above board and fine.
Yeah, and you'll have that conversation with clients, right? Expect inflationary increase on all your expenses, right? Your rent and everything else. That's part and parcel of what we have that conversation with clients each time, yeah. And that part that also goes on to, right? So really, you should review your fees, and then that's how the cycle goes, right? So I think that talking to them is, you know, it's expected. It's point from there. It's just that process. If there was just a button to press, you're like literally, oh, this week I'm going to tick by there. I don't think it's going to happen in any time soon, but if we can ever get to that, that is one of those situations where everyone will so much be happier, because we can then start putting that time into more exciting things, right? I'd much prefer to be talking about how I can improve the onboarding process or whatever it's going to be. At the moment, focus is currently on, right, what are our fee structures? How can we improve? Yeah, blah, 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 blah. And it just, yeah, it would just be nice to have that bit sorted. So that was the auto pricing by Ignition. So definitely something to keep an eye on. I personally wouldn't jump on Ignition just because of this, mainly because I still, that we've been looking at acquiring lately, and we've been looking at things, and actually when we find them on Ignition, it's really off-putting for me, because they're kind of almost locked into that, right? And you want to do some really, like, you want to integrate, you want to
it's not a cheap solution. Like, Ignition payment collection fees are not cheap compared to the rest of the market. They've kind of got you tied in, so they're like, actually we can charge you what we like as a percentage fee. But then when you look at them against the other competitors in the market, they're not competitive.
No. And you almost, like, they become kind of siloed in, right, as a practice. Like, you see them there and it's like, oh, I want to do some cool things to like integrate them more and everything else, but they're on Ignition, so we're gonna be banging heads. And it definitely puts an asterisk next to anyone looking to acquire someone who's on Ignition, because they've got to take that into consideration. It's not just a straightforward, let's move you over, let's migrate you, let's do everything else. So yeah, it's something to bear in mind, I think, for it.
Definitely. Awesome. It's a huge job. I mean, I've done it in my firm where we were on Ignition for a while, and it's not just a case of reissuing letters of engagement. Years ago, yeah. Wow. But it's not as simple as just removing your letter of engagement. You need to get the new letter of engagement, new invoice. Like, you've got to build out the repeating invoicing now, and then I've got to send the payment, get them all signed up to new payments things. Like, people don't like moving from like Go Cardless to Adfin because it's a pain point of, imagine that 3 times over. That's how painful moving from Ignition is. Once you're in, you're really in.
Yeah, and again, it's a lovely piece of software. I mean, that's why you'd have jumped on it, right? Like, and I remember one of the conventions, like, almost signing up there and then. I was like, this is brilliant. This is solving every problem I can think of, blah, 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 blah. But you've got to take that with you are in almost for life, right? You are in at that point. So you've got to take that into consideration.
It's like getting out of the Apple ecosystem.
Oh, yeah. But even worse, right? Because you've got to get your clients moved over. It's bad enough you having to move over. Kirsty says, happy birthday. Mine was Saturday. Oh, happy birthday to you too, Kirsty. Wow, that's lovely to hear. So we've got a 22nd, a 23rd, and my mother-in-law's 24th. So yeah, between us, and Amy's now in that group as well. So yeah, we could go away for a weekend and have a birthday every single day. Sue says, good morning. Where do you find all your talks? We can go to you on. We're going to save that question till later, Sue, and we'll talk about it then. Hannah Simpson says, good morning to you. Carl Beeson says, good morning to you. Paul says, bookkeeping reviews will always need a discussion unless you want to run the risk of damaging the relationship with the client. Yeah, but I think, especially with bookkeeping, right, there's so much involved in that. That isn't just let's send an email out and say, blah, blah, blah. That is right, we're going to have a conversation about this. This is
so many varying factors.
You said you were going to have X amount of transactions. You've now got Y amount. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's so many elements to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but we are bespoke in our bookkeeping package, or more than ever at the moment. Like, bringing this integration in, that integration, all sorts. Lisa says, good morning to Lisa, and Juliet says, good morning to you too, Juliet. Right, let's move on to our next topic. Unfortunately, I went on a bit of a rant, and I think people caught me out.
Have you calmed down since? Because you were very angry.
Have I calmed down? I think, I don't know how it happened, but the video was recorded with the volume very, very low, and I think that helped. It made it sound calmer and more free than I actually was. Yeah, if that was it, normal things, your ears would not have appreciated it. But
I'm just going to chip in here before we go too deep into this, right?
Go for
because
it,
I think the fact that they've done something that upsets their users isn't unusual. The fact that it has upset you to such a level that you cannot support, endorse, and condone this. Like the man who finds a silver lining in everything that they do, like it gets quite irritating that you can't find something to attack QuickBooks on without Aaron finding a counter argument. The fact that you haven't found a counter argument tells me how big a problem this is.
And I think we're talking around at the moment, and we will get into the reasons, but just to put a preference to this, I think this is one of those things where I think most people would never have noticed. Never have noticed. There's no way people would care, or they wouldn't have even seen it, right? This is one of those things where I've noticed because I am, a geek about this all. I've built almost a career around finding new updates and stuff to talk about, blah, 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 right? So I was actively looking for new updates, new everything else, and that's what I constantly do. So let's just put it to the point that this particular update that's really got me angry won't affect many people. No, not many people care, not many people think, but it's the principle and the promise that was given prior to this update being completely ignored, and go through from there. So let's talk about what the update was, just so we've got everyone on board with it. QuickBooks released, I want to say a year ago, maybe a little bit longer. In fact, it was in last year's recertification, so it was just over a year ago that was in. They released a tool called Chart of Accounts Template, and the idea of this tool, dead straightforward, dead simple. You whack in a template of whatever your chart of accounts is going to be, and you can replicate it for other clients. So if you've got lots of people in the same industry, basically look nice and easy for you, you can basically duplicate that tool, that chart of account, all the way through. Simple. And then they released that tool again a couple of years back, or just over a year back. It was fine. It was very much a minimal viable product. Feedback to it straight away was, well, why can't we import like we can in thing from a CSV file? Oh yeah, okay. Fast follow with that. So kudos to them on that one. Fast follow gave us the ability. They took the feedback on, they worked on that feedback, and they provided us with a solution. Now you can import your CSV file, so you can export it from maybe a client who's got a perfect chart account, bring it in, job done. Then out of nowhere, they updated it again in the last couple of weeks, but they didn't update it to anyone's, or to what I'm aware of anyone asking for a particular update. They updated it and made it significantly worse, to the point where I would say at the moment it's pretty much unusable in the way that it is. They gave it so that when you generate a new chart of accounts, you then pick an industry, and then the industry are just absolute ridiculous industries. Like my video goes into talking about melon farmers, right? But you can't have e-commerce. Explain that one. But ultimately they brought this thing in, and what's wound me up is 4 months ago, 6 months ago, Ted Kagalang, I butcher his second name, but basically the head of product over in America, the head of product for the whole of Intuit pretty much. He says that they're going to stop doing minimal viable products. That's the end of the world. We're not doing that anymore. Never going to do a minimal viable product again. We know how much it upsets people. Well, it upsets me, but how much it upsets the community. And they were like, well, instead of that, we're going to do minimal remarkable product. Sounds great, doesn't it? Like that's a quality like PR spin on it, isn't it? Like a minimal remarkable product. That sounds amazing. This is far from a minimal remarkable product.
I think it is remarkable. I think it's remarkably crap.
Yeah. But this isn't even minimal viable product. This is them wasting resources, wasting time, wasting effort, wasting everything to go and make a product worse. I can't get my head around it. I mean, the video goes into far more details as to why and the reasons and the problems. And again, not many people will even know, care, or see this product, right? This is a product that % of people will care about. But the fact that they went and made it worse when we've got so much other stuff that needs to be looked at, so much other stuff that needs to have resources for, was the end of the straw for me. But God, yeah, but what did you think? Because let's be honest, you would never have probably spotted it, right? Like this particular issue would never affect you, but it's the principle, isn't it? That's the annoying thing.
Definitely the principle of the matter, but I think it would have affected me because whenever you set up a new client on QuickBooks, you have to tell it what that client does.
Yeah.
And whilst I've got a large amount of melon farmers, so that's really helpful, I do have a few e-commerce clients, and the industry list is completely and utterly irrelevant to the UK. It's really poorly thought out.
But surely it's not even relevant to the US.
Well, no, but also the fact that it doesn't really matter what industry you select, because it doesn't. But I've always said since day one of Chart of Accounts, like since 7 years ago when I joined in, like surely if you're asking me what type of what industry this client's in, that should help preset and give me a Chart of Accounts tailored to that industry based on all the information you guys have got, all that data, and it's never really done that very effectively. It seems to do it even worse now. I'm really not impressed with. I mean, to be honest with you, though, as you guys all know, like this just adds to another part, and the big pile of crap they've produced recently that has just annoyed me beyond belief. I mean, we don't even promote actively QuickBooks anymore. Like, any clients over, and we'll go into this in a bit in the next article, but now in my firm, any clients with £1 million turnover or more go to zero. Anyone below that, we review free agent. Is it viable for them? If not, okay, we'll go to QuickBooks. Like QuickBooks has gone from the top of our list to, I suppose it's a backup option. Like it's it'll do. Which, considering that the passion and support I've put into QuickBooks over the years, I think it shouts volumes that they've got themselves into this mess.
Yeah, and one of the things they always shout at, and give them credit, right? Their messaging can be like catastrophic. We've seen that, but lately their messaging can also be brilliant. Like minimal, remarkable product. I was hooked on that. Like I am like, right, okay, that fixes a lot of the issues we've got. But then you got to back it up, right? You know, they want to win heart and souls and minds of accountants. Again, messaging, amazing, love that. Like that is what we want to hear. That's exactly what we want from our product. Yeah. Then this is an accountant only feature developed by what, in a vacuum? In a vacuum of what though? Like, you know, I can't give. Again, you've said it, hit the nail on the head. Like I am the one who will find a silver lining. I will defend everything, and sometimes because I've got privileged information, right? I've spoken to the developer or whatever it's going to be, right? Sometimes I've got that, and you know that's just a communication thing more than anything else. This was, you know, you guys don't know this, but actually, if you think about it from this, then blah 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 blah, right? Fine. This one, I can't talk to the developer. No one seems to be coming ahead and going, "Oh, it was me that did this." I wonder why. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder why no one wanted to say that. But B, even if you did talk to them, how? What defense have you got for something so sloppy as this? And that's what it is. It's sloppiness, right? Like, why spend that time and resources to make things worse? Why do that? They did it. They've done it before. They did it with work papers, right? They took work papers, and instead of taking it to its next level, they reduced it in its functionality. When you're trying to win over accountants and bookkeepers, we need enhancements. We need small wins. We need things like you said today, like, you know, you and Adfin are working towards trying to figure this one out because you know that it's going to affect positively the accountants and bookkeepers who use your product. And that's why you're developing that. Otherwise, you just sit still and go, right, well, we're done now. Done. That's it. So they're obviously actively trying to improve, but that should never be at the detriment of the product to making the product worse. Like, surely that's the case. And it's coming up with error messages, and it's coming up with, you know, stuff we were told from day one you're not allowed to do. Like, you cannot put a chart of account without a detailed type in. Well, this product can. This product more than happily do it. And then it comes with error messages later down the line, gives us problems, and doesn't feed through for the rest of the product. Like, it's not been thought out. It's not had that thing. And this hasn't been released as beta. And if it was a beta, fair enough. You beta, you get the feedback, you improve, right? This was just stealth launch. No one was talking about it. There's been no push on it, no announcement about it, no anything. It was just, and embarrassing for me, I went to record the core certification, so the literal certification you guys are going to be taking, or your team's going to be taking later down the line. I went to record that. That's when I found this change. When I'd already written the script, already put everything into place, already had it all done. And I was like, that's not the page I was expecting. So then had to go back and learn it. And that's part of the frustration, was like, come on guys, give me a bit of heads up here. Like, give me a chance. Like, I'm trying to deliver your training. And yeah, it just, I could get very animated about it and very frustrated about it, but it's, yeah, what's it going to do? No, never going to get fixed. Like, this is the case we've got. We've just got to figure out what to do with it, haven't we?
And I don't think there's much more I can add to that, because I think the fact that you are so angry about it says everything that anyone needs to know. And if this isn't sending shockwaves at QuickBooks, then I don't know what will. I mean, all I'd say is this is just another clear example of developers have decided they know best without any consultation with accountants and bookkeepers, and they've just built this tool that they think is going to be a be-all and end-all. And as per usual, because you've not got the feedback of the users in place, it's turned out absolutely rubbish.
Mm-hmm. And I think I've had criticism in the past of, oh, you're a fanboy, blah, blah, blah. You obviously get paid. I don't get paid for them. Like, I give away, so we have given away countless hours of development time, of feedback time. And you know, we've done it off the back of our own goodwill, right? Because it's for the good of our practice, for the good of this, for the good of everything else. Like, imagine we weren't involved in the initial discussions about their accounts production software, right? You think it's bad now, you should have seen what they were going to release, right? Like we were happy to give that time away, and you know what, it was a worthwhile investment of our time, because we stopped something catastrophic from being relaunched at the time, right? Like, it was terrible. And we would have happily have done, well, maybe not you at this point in time, but I would certainly have been happy to give that same development, that same feedback time. More than happy. The fact that no one's asked, or no one must have been asked for this one, there's no chance this went through some feedback, no chance this went through any, other than let's just launch it. And the other thing that frustrates me, I never got to put this on the video, and it is the fact that we've been waiting for some updates from the US. Like, there's a cool update in the US where your recurring tab, you know how you get your recurring transactions, your recurring tab comes up under the customer area. So if you've got recurring templates for a customer,
it's the banking area.
That's amazing, right? Yeah. And should have been there from day one, right? So if you've got a recurring template in place, you just go to the customer, look at the recurring, and amend it there. Spot on. We've been asking for that for 8 months now, maybe 9 months, right? Multiple accounting council members, multiple thing. I've been saying, look, this hasn't got any VAT issues, because VAT is normally the reason why we don't get the US software over here, right? No VAT. This is just a quality of life, which would be massive for us accountants who are using your software, and then we can promote it to our clients as well. Fell on deaf ears. Yet this one clearly was, you know, was something that got developed over the US and then just added over here. Please don't tell me this was developed in the UK, because that'd be even worse, right? But hopefully it was developed over the US, brought over here, but like no testing, no anything, no everything else. Whereas I assume the only reason we've not been given the customer template thing is because it's not had testing, it's not been looked at in the UK, blah, 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 blah. So they can do it for one, but can't for the other. There's no consistency there, right? So let's go on to some good news about QuickBooks, yeah? Let's turn this conversation around into a more positive spin, shall we?
Go on then, give it a go.
We've seen on forums that there is a bit of a hoo-ha going on in the world of QuickBooks in terms of their licensing and everything else. So we did a bit of investigation and we looked into it a little bit deeper. Now, if you go and buy a brand new license from QuickBooks now, go onto their main page, go down their planning pricing, you'll see they're now showing the new prices. We've spoke about the pricing. It's frustrating, but it is, it is what it is. There's always going to be pricing.
Acceptable.
Whatever, yeah. The fact that they've gone very aggressive against Xero and they pretty much matched their pricing point was kind of on the cards. Very aggressive though. We've had a very high fee increase this particular period, but you'd imagine going forward now that it will just stay in line with Xero, and it's going to be one of those. Like you've already said, you're either going to choose Xero or you're going to choose an alternative. And price isn't really the issue here. It's more about features, what's right for them. That's right. So I'm not going to give them a pass, but we can accept the fee side of things. But then start going down and looking at the features and everything else, right? They've sneakily put in that for a chart of accounts, you're only allowed a certain amount. For classes and locations, you're only allowed a certain amount. And it appears that users as well, I mean, we've had the user restriction for a while, but it appears that's going to be actually enforced going forward as well. That's a scary slope to go down, right? That is a really scary kind of world to be in, that they force you from one to another. Because I've always had an argument about, like, Xero's had this from day one, and it's been their philosophy, right? You're on this platform, you're on this version of the software. If you need to go up to this version, it's not just feature, but it's because you need more invoices, more bills, whatever the threshold is, right? And you go up and you go down based on what your need is. That is, in there because Xero have stated themselves they're pretty happy with their product. They don't need to develop much more. They're quite happy with what it is. They're going to refine it. They're going to keep polishing it. Like, that's what they want to do now. It's gone are the days where they're going to bring massive amounts of extra features and stuff, because they're not in that cycle. They're in we've got a great product. We're going to define this and we're going to do this. So having restrictions on users and stuff kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's like, right, how are we going to move you from whatever their lowest package is to the highest package? There's got to be something to go there. And that's when you're in a position of strength. That's when you've got a great product that everyone loves, and it's, everything else. When you're not in a position of strength, surely, and this used to be the reason that you'd upgrade, is because you'd upgrade because it's an amazing feature. There's a feature that just makes so much sense, right? That if I don't have that feature, I'm going to have FOMO. And it's actually going to cost me more than paying the extra bit, because this feature is going to be so fundamental to my business. That, to me, especially when you're, chasing the pack and you're trying to win market share, that's a sensible route, right? Like, give me that shiny object, give me that reason to upgrade. I don't know if I'm comfortable with let's force us to upgrade. And I know you're short on time, John, so you go for it from here.
No, I mean, my biggest issue here isn't the fact that they're now saying you only allowed X amount of users, which the accounting firm counts as one, which is absolutely and utterly preposterous.
Yeah,
so
you've got to get rid of that if they're
QuickBooks Plus. Yeah, QuickBooks Plus is now going to be limited to 5 users. The accounting or bookkeeping firm's 1. So what if you've got a separate accounting and a separate bookkeeping firm? You've now lost 2 of your user spaces. You're allowed 3 left. The issue I've got is, this flies in the face of everything we were told for so many years. From day one of me using QuickBooks in 2017, it's been unlimited users. If your license is attached to an accounting firm or a bookkeeping firm that's a QuickBooks Pro Advisor, unlimited users. If you buy direct, you've got a cap on your user limit. Absolutely fine. But since 2017, we have seen them devalue and chip away at the Pro Advisor program time and time again. I mean, back in the day, if I was like a silver or a gold or a bronze, I used to get, and I had X amount of licenses. They gave me £100 towards my website, £500 towards my marketing. Like, they've devalued that Pro Advisor scheme time and time again. And this is just another nail in the coffin of that Pro Advisor scheme of, where's the distinction between the benefits of getting the license with a QuickBooks accountant or bookkeeper versus just going and buying it on your own? Because at the moment, they're on sale for I think one of my new clients came to me and said, "Oh, I'm looking to get QuickBooks. I just said, I'm not selling it to you, because you can go and buy it for 40 quid for the first year. Go online. Like, I'd be doing you a disservice by selling you one more expensive. The same thing. I said, like, originally, when those sales are on, I've got the argument of, yeah, but that's only for 6 months, or it's only for a year, but then you've got limitations. We don't have those limitations. Oh, actually, now we do have those limitations.
It's the same product.
So actually, now, why am I going to sell the product? The client may as well go and buy it themselves. And it's interesting, because that's how Xero always incentivized accountants and bookkeepers to work. Is if the client buys it themselves, you get bonus points on the Pro Advisors, like on the Xero certification scheme. Okay. Whereas in QuickBooks, they wanted us to have the benefit of that. Now you don't get that anymore. So yeah, this is just yet another kick in the teeth from QuickBooks to accountants and bookkeepers. Putting it bluntly, like, really unimpressed with this. I've expressed my views to QuickBooks on this last week, and I have no doubt it's fallen on deaf ears. My biggest upset on this is actually most of my clients that aren't going to be impacted by this, because they don't have any use on QuickBooks. The ones that are charities. I have clients that are charities where they have in their rules that an X amount of people should have visibility of QuickBooks or whatever accounting license they're using, to ensure there is no money laundering, embezzlement, fraud, etc. by the members and the trustees. One of my charities can't actually maintain that rule of their own. Now we're going to have to put them on Xero so they can maintain that rule.
I mean, I did bring this up in the video, that the only saving grace is that read-only access is still unlimited. So you could, there's many read-only ones as you want. So that is a way around. It's not a great way around, but that's a way around. And I do think that it's only if you're paying for it that you have to be a user, right? So if you as the accountant are paying for it, then you have to be a user. If another bookkeeper comes on, they don't have to be a user. So we're splitting hairs here, but the principle's still the same.
Like, why faff around with this crap messaging? Just turn around to us, QuickBooks. Turn around and say, we don't want accountants and bookkeepers buying the licenses. We want the end users, and for that reason, we're going to make the differential really minimal. At least Xero have been very clear and open about it from day one. Of, we would prefer the business owners to buy the licenses themselves and us to charge them, and to encourage you to do that, we'll give you double points. So you get up our gold, silver tariff faster. QuickBooks seem to just be chipping away until we get fed up and go, you know what, just buy it yourselves. Whereas if they just turn around to us and go, we think it's better this way, and this is why, absolutely fine. But they won't be open and honest with us.
Well, they've kind of given that opportunity to the client anyway, because I found this yesterday, and again, just digging around, there's a new button in the client area that is, I want my license back now. You as the accountant can't say no to it. They click a button and they just get their license back. Like they can then take it off you without even asking you the permission. Whereas before it used to be, right, let's give the permission, let's push through, let's jettison it, all this and the other. And it wasn't ever designed to be restrictive or anything like that. It was designed so that as the accountant, we can put in provisions, we can put controls into place, we can manage the expectation, right? Now, one click, the client can just jettison that account and they get control of it again. So, they're giving them all the tools they want to walk away, and that's what it is. So I know you're short on time. So any last bits before?
I am going to have to run. But yeah, no, look, guys, if you're coming to Engager Labs tomorrow, I'm so excited to see you. We've got some amazing speakers, some amazing announcements. Aaron will be there covering as much as he can. But yeah, I hope to see you all next week, where we'll discuss all this on Monday and how everyone's reflections of it, if I don't see you tomorrow. So yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you all very soon.
Looking forward to it. Cheers, Leanne. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Catch you a bit, guys. Bye-bye.
All right, team. So we've got the last 15 minutes. Again, if you've got any questions, whack them into the thing. Yeah, any bit we've got there, let's just go through what people are saying. So Paul says, I still don't understand why QuickBook asks what industry you're in. They can just use the SIC code list. Exactly. And this is was my frustration with this whole chart of account update, right? They didn't even ask if it was a limited or sole trader. Like, they don't seem to realize that that's a differentiator. which we all know is probably the biggest one, like even more so than the industry. Like the impact of it is, if it's a limited company, we want to make sure it's built this way. If it's a sole trader, we want it built this way, right? They don't ask those questions, don't give us those questions to ask. So yeah, SIT code would be a great idea and bring that in. But I mean, they used to actually have it, didn't they? Where back in the day, it was connected to your company's house and used to bring in your address and all sorts, right? Like that feature was taken away from us because it was a minimal viable product. No one ever used. It just caused issues, and they just killed it. But yeah, if they brought the SIT in, they could align it, and it might make it easier for the algorithm in the background to know, everyone with this SIT code has this, chart of account set up, and everyone there, and it could help build it. But at the moment, yeah, and I'll be honest, every time I set a new client up, I start looking through that list, and I struggle to find the client I want, so I just go and give up on it, and I just literally go right other, and just the amount of times I've created a client now, and I just go to other. It's just madness. So yeah, it's frustrating. It is frustrating, but I could rant more and more, but let's try and move on to something a bit more positive. The development over the last couple of years has been subpar, but we know why. I mean, it's even worse for you, Clive, right? You've got the rest of the world products, so you're even further down the list than us in terms of new features and everything else come through. So yeah, it's tricky. And let us know, is your chart of accounts, has yours been updated as well? Because that would be interesting to know if they just switched it on to everyone without even asking. Given the current pricing being 90% reduced for 6 months, why wouldn't you get the client to start that's the subscription? That's it. And as accountants, right, I'm sure you guys are in the same, we get deals and we've got these licenses that would be nice to shift, right, where we're getting these discounts and everything else and all that sort of stuff. And every single time I'm speaking to a client, it's right, head over to the website, grab that deal. I'll be doing a disservice to my client if I was like, right, I'm going to charge you X amount for your license when they could get it for £1 or whatever it is at the moment on the website. And there's always that little tick here at the top, isn't it? Oh, we've got 6 days left of this, 6 days, but it never changes. Like it just never changes, and yeah, it makes it really difficult for us to shift our licenses as it is. Update Tim with a C and me. Oh, they're on a plane. Okay, excellent. I mean, it doesn't give them reason why they're not joining to this talk though. So into this podcast. So disappointed that they've not connected to onboard Wi-Fi and listened in. But hey, thanks for the update there, Kirsty. Kirsty, I assume, are you coming to Engage Labs? Do let us know in the thing. They could build AI reports based on the national statistics or SIT codes as well, comparing your business and the national average. And I know they have got plans to do that, so that is in the roadwork of stuff they want to bring in, not necessarily on SIT codes, but basically on those type of industry that they're in, and give you reports from there. So we'll see what it comes up at. I don't know. I'm at the point at the moment where I'm I think the fact that they've built this in such a poorly done manner doesn't give me much hope for what's to come, but we shall see. All right, cool. Let's shift our attentions though to Engage Labs. What we can expect, how we can expect it to happen, and everything else that comes through. I know we had a question before about who's talking and when, so let's go through some of them, and we'll give you a bit of a bit of an insight into what we planning to do with Ask the Accountant. So Ask the Accountant will be there, a bit of a different one, this one, where normally give you a bit of a sneak behind the curtain or peek behind the curtain. Normally we get to go in the night before, get set up, get the cameras all into place, get the microphones all set up, all that sort of stuff. This one we go in on the day. I think it's a 6 a.m. start, so that's going to be so if you do see producer Lizzie there, do make sure that you offer a cup of coffee or something to keep her perked up, because she's definitely going to be feeling it for a 4:30 get up. I'd imagine 4:30 a.m. we'll have to get up, probably be get done and dusted, get to the venue, so we're there, because we don't just have to be at the venue for 6, we have to get to the car to unload the car to get the stuff to the front door basically for 6, because we're going to be really against time to get everything up and running, but it's going to be worth it, so we're not complaining about that. So we're going to get that all sorted, get that ready and waiting. When we are there, we're going to make sure we do the podcast or the grid walk as well. So that grid walk, I think, is going to be one not to be missed this time round. We are going to be given the opportunity to have unparalleled access. Like, in my mind, I think this could be the one where we get to see really behind the scenes. Let's look right to people probably still building their stand at this point, right? We've got to be there early. We've got to get set up and everything else because we want to do the thing. There's going to be people rocking up the vendors. This is probably half an hour before. So if you want to see people building their stand frantically before the doors open, it's definitely one not to be missed. We want to be looking at all the different venues as well, because we've got the main stage where there's going to be people talking, and we'll go through the list in a minute of who's talking there, but we're going to go through that and see how that goes. But also there's some two sub venues as well, hosted by Xenon and someone else. So if anyone can tell me in the comments who it was, there's another one hosting them, and they're doing their own mini sessions as well. So that'd be cool to see. The vendors are going to be there. And we've also been told as well, Advent are doing the pre-drinks as well. So we're going to have a bit of a party atmosphere afterwards as well. When it comes to who's talking and everything else that's there, we got some TED Talk style elements there. And this is what I think makes it different, right? So 10 o'clock to 10 is going to be opening keynote by Johann. So that'll be amazing. Overcoming Adversity from Andy Grant is going to be for the next 20 minutes. And I know Andy's really recommends him as a good motivational speaker, kind of get you up and going, get you kind of getting the most out of it and stuff like that. So that'll be great. We got a nice 20-minute morning break that gives you a chance to mooch around, talking to the vendors, getting some of that merch, all that sort of stuff. Come over to the podcast pit stop area, see who's talking at the time, maybe have a listen in of who's talking and who's doing their podcast at that time. Adfin is then on the stage. Payments, the 5 things you probably don't know but should. So by Tom Pope, that'd be amazing. Apparently the same birthday as me, Amy Copeland is going to be there next for 20 minutes, and she's going to be talking MTD, what every bookkeeper needs to do now to prepare your practice and your clients. So that's definitely one to get listening to. How to go viral on social media, 1-minute briefs by Nick. Actually, sorry, that's Andy's creative guru. So yeah, definitely going for that one. That's 20 minutes or 30 minutes slot, that one. So that must be a really big one, big speak there. So that'll be good to see. Then you got Lucy Brown, AML, look beyond client due diligence. That'll be good to see. Digitalizing your practice by Ariana. So yeah, Ariana's smashing it, right? She's set up Vault. She's been there, done that, got a t-shirt. So yeah, if you're looking to get some tips and tricks in digitalization, definitely head yourself over to that one. Free Agent are going to be talking about MTD for income tax, transforming compliance into opportunities. That'll be great. Joe Wood's going to be there. Hey Monica, proactive communications and AI. So a big AI speech. Definitely going to be catching the tail end of that one when I prepare for mine, because I'm on next for how Engager saved my practice. So that's your tips, tricks, and everything else in the world of Engager. I've got loads of tips and tricks and going through. I'll be completely honest, I failed on the brief for 20 minutes. Mine would be longer than 20 minutes if I gave you all of it. So what I'm going to do is give you a kind of bite size of it, and then we're going to do a video later down the line going through the stuff that we missed to go through from there. Connecting marketing and ops, how your brand affects your firm profitability by Karen Rayburn of We Are PF. So that'd be good to hear. Friend of the show, Sam Tasker Grindley is going to be there from Nexus, growing your firm via additional services. And the new Nexus platform that they made is absolutely brilliant. You know, the opportunity to be able to offer new solutions to your practice is absolutely brilliant. And let's be honest, the headline show, one of the reasons why we definitely made it a mission to make ourselves go there, product update and what's to come by Johann. Like, I'm expecting Apple-esque announcements here. Like, this is what we want to be talking about. We'll be doing, from Ask the Accountant, some instant reactions to what was announced, how that was, what we think of it, that sort of stuff. Really looking forward to talking about that and getting that off the show. But yeah, I think there's going to be a big buzz around the world, around the place. We're all using the same software. We're all kind of invested in that platform, right? And the idea that we can listen to some product updates, what it is, it reminds me very much of QuickBooks Connect. Like, that announcements there, right? Like that's everyone in the same room using the same software, everyone buzzing about it. We're going to have that. And I'm privileged to know some of those updates and what's going to be there. We're going to be blown away by them. They are, groundbreaking updates. I think it's going to be amazing to listen to. So yeah, well excited. And I think what we've also got to remember, this is Engage's first ever session, right? And it's the first one of 2025. It's an opportunity to kind of get to meet fellow people who are using the same product. And I think this is, one that's going to be really exciting to go to. It's very different to others on the platform. The fact they've gone for that TED Talk style approach, and there's going to be all those people in the stand, in the seats, and we're going to be on stage talking about that sort of stuff. It's going to be brilliant. I'm really excited for it. I'm really kind of pumped for what's there. The exhibitors that are going to be there, Adfin is the main headline exhibitor, so definitely go and talk to him and talk to. We've actively signed up with them now. We're looking to see how we can integrate them. Looking forward to putting them in there. Buddy HR is going to be there, and a lot of people are talking about paywall at the moment, so definitely someone to be talking to. Obviously, Apron's there. One of our everyone knows this could be the best time to see them. You know how busy they are at the other events. This will give you an opportunity to go and talk to them. Next is there, like I said before, great. Free Agent are going to be there to talk there. RQ is going to be there as well. If you haven't heard of RQ yet, definitely go and talk to them. They are the opportunity for you to be able to do referrals properly within your practice, giving you opportunities so you can get all your team to do referrals, all compliant, everything else. Yeah, highly recommend talking to them. This screen's moving around, so I'm struggling now to see if I've missed anyone. PF are there, Tax Essentials are there, Outbooks are there. Great. Zama's there. Zama, the AML provider that's deeply integrated into Engager. Make sure you go talk to them. Friends of the show, Xenon's there, so go talk to Xenon as well. Armalytics there. If you haven't looked at the Armalytics product, do go and have a look there. Free Agent are there, ICB there, Hey Monica's there, and the screen keeps moving. The only one I think I've missed is client window as well, which we are very, very interested in figuring out. That is one of the ones where I'm going to send my team, have a talk to him, see if it's worthwhile, see how it works, and see if we can bring that into play or not. But that's it. That is Engager Labs. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a big event. So please do get yourself down there if you can. If not, you're already in the right place to kind of learn what they've released, what they've done, and everything else. We'll try and get as much content there, especially for the people like Dave. Like, we're going to try and get as much content over to people like yourself who just can't make it. We know friends of the show, Amy, people like that can't make it either because they've got poorly households, and we'll try and get as much content as we can. And Kirsty, you are on your way, getting on your train soon. See you soon. Yeah, looking forward to meeting up with everyone. There will also be, I've already packed them. As you can see around here, we're going to have our famous cards there as well, including people like Kirsty. So come and get your cards, get your stickers as well. They've announced they've got some stickers of Engager. So Top Trump cards, Engager stickers. I think you're going to have some really cool ways in which you're going to be able to flex those muscles and show off that you were there at Engager. Hannah Simpson says she's going to be there as well. Amazing. Cool. Really looking forward to seeing you all. Again, don't be a stranger. Come over to our stand, ask the accountant. Say hello. Come to our talks. Come to all that sort of stuff. Say hello. And we're really looking forward to it. So, yeah, apologies. The last 15 minutes or so of this one has been a little bit strange. Me just basically talking at you. But we've enjoyed it nonetheless. My name's Patrick. If there is anyone out there who wants to kind of meet up today or anything like that, because I am heading down to Liverpool there, just reach out via socials. We're having a little meal at a Thai place, so more than welcome to come along if people want to come and say hi for that little pre event get together if anyone wants it. 8 o'clock, I believe. I think we set the date for, set the time for. So do let me know via socials, and we will fit you in accordingly. And yeah, Adfin's kindly going to do the pre or the post event as well. So we'll go through from there. We will try our best. I can't promise this, but we'll try our best to make the grid walk live if we can. If not, though, that'll be going very, very soon onto your channel, so you can watch it from there. But Can't wait to see you all at Engage Labs. We're really looking forward to it. And our final bit of wowness for you is we have a brand new outro. So, producer Lizzie, I've never seen this. This will be the first time I get to see this outro as well. Producer Lizzie's gone and done it yet again with her wonderful outro. Fingers crossed we got the music we wanted today. Let's see. All right. See you, everyone. See you over the next couple of days. Looking forward to seeing you all. And if not, we'll see you this time, same place, same time, same everything else for the next episode of Ask the Accountant. See you all soon. Bye for now. New intro rolling now. When I press button.